with that, Ian, in the past week, the console known as the Intellivision Amico that may eventually get released, but probably not to the public. After the podcast happened, after we recorded, it sounds like GameStop figured out what the heck was happening.
Yeah.
In terms of like, we're charging people's credit cards for an item we don't have in stock. That was supposed to come out March 31st. We better give people their money back. And it sounds like they started refunding credit cards.
Yes. And then GameStop removed it entirely. Well, it didn't remove it. It says it's not available. It's not removed entirely, but you can't
pre-order anymore.
Can't pre-order it anymore. And there was, talk of people who had gone in to see what was going on with their Amico pre-orders, and the people at GameStop had never heard of it. While GameStop is definitely partially at fault for charging cards, GameStop, you can't hold the GameStop employees at fault for not knowing anything about the Amico.
No, because no one knows anything about it. And I saw one.
Because no one asks about it. I mean, these are things that you need to take. People never ask the questions they should ask. Like, why don't the GameStop employees know anything about the Amico? Because no one's asking about it, and then management doesn't think it's important for them to know that. Why? No one's asking why is this GameStop not taking pre-orders on the Amico. No one's asking that. Sure.
I saw one of the cultists. It was a post. It might have been a post that was reiterated from the Intellivision_Amico Reddit. That they said they I can't believe this is embarrassing. They said I went to my local GameStop and asked the employee about the Amico and what they knew. And it's like, why are you wasting their time? Was
that the same post that was like, so I schooled them in the ways of the Amico?
I don't. Oh, did someone say that?
Yeah.
Oh no, I did not.
Someone
see
who
that.
went in there, like someone who was talking about checking on their pre-order, said that they schooled the employee on the ways of the Amico, which means they probably gave them some really unconvincing 10-minute spiel.
Sure. So after that, I guess to save face, and I guess because they realize we need to show interest to potential investors on the Intellivision Amico Facebook group, they posted the following, Ian. Are you ready? This came out.
I retweeted this.
You had some words. I ignored it at the time. I was like, what is this? As we continue to adapt and keep pushing forward with our launch, we have some changes that we want to share with you about the status of our pre-ordering, pricing, and SKU availability. First, rest assured that for all existing orders, in all caps, for those folks who have made an initial deposit, your place in line will not be altered and your price remains the same. So what are they doing, Ian? They want to make sure the people they have the money from those $100, they keep their money.
Yes.
They keep their money. And this is why. For new orders, caps, as we work through a continually evolving supply chain, our pricing has changed to the following. Drum roll, price increase coming. Galaxy Purple, $290 for a console with one controller. $340 for a console with two controllers, and the same for the vintage wood grain, which was the early orders backers, and then the black and white ones. No new orders are being accepted at this time.
So before we get any further, three things jump out.
A lot of things jump out.
But three are big. One,
big.
big. The foundation of the Intellivision Amico, as spoken by Tommy Tallarico, is at this point 100% obliterated. There is nothing that was said initially that is now true. The games are going to be more expensive. It's not going to come with two controllers out of the box, so you can't sit down with your family.
Well, unless you spend more money.
Unless you spend more money. There is now a cheaper option there's a cheaper and a more expensive option, and the basic SKU only comes with one controller, and $250. It was not affordable for families, but people really tried to argue it. Well, the two controllers and
six games,
premium games. You got to do it that way. Premium games.
What are you, pumping up a bicycle tire?
Yeah. Premium pumping. Pumping pumping. So it's not cheap anymore. At $290 with one controller, it is no longer affordable. The A in affordable is gone.
And without
the A in safe,
without two controllers, you can't say co-op anymore, family co-op. You say, well, Pat, you can use a phone for that. And our argument was, well, then why not just put the games on phones if a phone can do it? And we were told, no, you need the controller to play these games.
Yeah, I was angrily told that you need it.
So which is it? Do you need the controllers to play these games for two people, or do you not?
You don't.
And it sounds like you don't.
And I think the smart thing to have done would have been to, it's not... He's so attached.
There's no smart thing to be done.
No, so attached to that controller. It's like it's going to be the death. I mean, it's the albatross. It's the death. But he's so, and honestly, probably so much money has been put into the controller.
It's
already.
an over-engineered nightmare.
I don't know why they didn't. I'm surprised they didn't do a no controller. I'm not surprised, but they could have.
We always said that you get rid of the controller, and just put like USB ports. You can plug in a regular controller that you have later to play it.
But if you get rid of the controller, there's even less of a reason for this system to exist.
No, and from my source, not anyone else's source, is my source, that the cost of this controller, the bill of materials, is probably around $40 to $50, probably.
Yeah,
$50 for a family-friendly console. What happens if that controller breaks? What happens if you want to buy a new one?
And that means build cost?
Yes.
Right, which means that they're making no money on this second controller.
They'd have to charge like $80 for another controller, $70, $80 for it, and bank on that. So the thing that at that point, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So the whole cost of this console might be $150. 50 times two controllers, and maybe $50 for the base unit just to make it. That's nuts for a console like this. That's insane for that. Anyway, so that's interesting. You're admitting that you don't need these controllers.
Well, you're admitting that you don't need these controllers, but you're also the whole it coming with two controllers thing was a big part of the.
It was also a lie.
Yes, but this is for families.
Yeah,
this is for families. Right out of the box, you're playing this with someone because this is a system meant for multiplayer. This is meant for couch multiplayer, and now you're throwing that out the window. How the thought of playing Amico alone is like so sad. So sad.
Yeah, I mean it is. I mean that's probably a lot of like the old school Intellivision fans that would like.
Hey, your solo Amico experience.
So that's bad. The price has doubled. Let's gloss over that. The original price port was between $149 and $179. The price has doubled.
Yes,
it's doubled.
Literally doubled.
If you want to say the average of that is like 160, it's more than doubled. 170, it's doubled. It's nuts. It's doubled. And then, of course, going back to that, the lie that this would have been the only first console with two packing controllers since the Super Nintendo, even though there were several glaring examples of that happening after that. But that's fine. That's fine. The other weird thing that stands to me, why did they say $290 and not $300 and $340 and not $350?
To keep it cheaper than the Switch. Keep it $10 cheaper than the Switch.
To show that there's some weird value that exists where this is $10 less than a Switch. Families would prefer this. $10 over a $300 purchase. Do the pat math. 10 over 300 ain't much.
And it's not even a fair comparison because, yes, people don't love the Joy-Cons, but for $10 more, you'd have two controllers.
Yes.
As opposed to, so really the comparison is between 300 and 340. But yes, they obviously kept it $10 shy of the big price points the competition are using, like the Xbox Series S too.
They're worried about people spending, you're spending 3.3% less on something. That's what they're worried about. That's a price. That's going to get families to buy it.
Also, I haven't really seen anyone talking about this. This is the Amico, the shell stuff, and maybe it has been covered, but I haven't seen it. The whole no black and white thing. That makes sense. That tells of a company that does not have a lot of money, and here's why. They focused heavily on, you can tell from the pictures they've taken of the systems, they focused heavily on the purple and the wood grain initially. One, because I think they wanted to show people, hey, this is fancy, look what you're going to get if you pre-order through GameStop, look what you'll get if you pre-order through us, the wood grain. But those are the things that I think they have the tooling for. I did see some people say that, why wouldn't they do black and white? Because black and white is cheaper plastic. I don't think they've made any progress on that. They've got to get the wood grain and the purple out.
Well, no, this is why, Ian. Those were cheaper. Those were $50 cheaper. They don't want people to get the cheaper option. That's why.
Sure, but the other, they would have raised the price on that too. I think the other reason why is, in terms of what's already spoken for, like what they feel like they have to get out, it's mostly wood grain units. And then they're expecting people to go over to them, and we haven't talked about this yet, to go over to them for the Galaxy Purple. What Intellivision did, and this is a shitty move on my part, but people are championing it. Some people are...
Shitty move on your part?
No, this is a shitty move on Intellivision's part that I'm about to bring up. And some people in the pro Amico group are like applauding it. And Intellivision came out and said, oh, if you had an order canceled by GameStop, send your money over this way and we'll get you back on that pre-order. Oh, actually, I don't think you have to put money down.
No
anymore.
deposit required.
No deposit required. Okay. They want to get people's...
They want to show interest.
They want to see the numbers. Yes, they want to see the numbers.
Which is disingenuous because it doesn't matter. Anyone can say, I want to buy something without any money down. It means nothing.
Yeah, if you don't put your money where your mouth is, it's meaningless.
But that's so I'm a little bit... this is what I look at it. They want to tell you that, well, the price is going up, but since the Galaxy Purple and the Vintage Wood Grain are limited ones, you're going to spend more money on it, so who cares? That's why, to me, why they're not offering black and white, because they want more of your money. They can justify the price range with these, quote, limited versions of it, but they can't do it with the black and white. That's my opinion.
I agree with what you're saying, but
they have no room for error here.
They could have just said they were raising the price on the black and white ones too. I really think it's because this is all they've been focusing on. Tommy knows the first systems that have to go out are going to be wood grain systems.
Yes,
that's why he's focusing on the wood grain.
Those are the early Founders Edition ones back then. So back to their note. Effective today, we are halting further pre-orders on black and white models. This helps us optimize our first manufacturing run to consist mostly of the colors that already have the highest volume. Yes, that makes sense. For all new orders, no deposit will be required until we finalize and announce a manufacturing date. Your order will just hold your place in line for delivery. And it gives us a good sense around initial order volume. Why do you think they will need that? To hook someone to keep the company alive,
right? Which
in turn helps us with our new supply chain agreements. As the development of this console has gone for over 3 years and through a component impacted pandemic, we have to alter our pricing to meet the needs of the business while bringing Amico to you. As you would expect, we tried very hard to hold our originally published pricing. Unable to do that, we have introduced a single controller package as a budget-friendly alternative for customers who are happy to use their smartphones as additional controllers with our free Amico controller app. Yeah, where's the development of that app? The app has been updated in at least a year and a half, I think, at this point. The app has had no updates. We're going to rely upon that as well while you're doing your cloud. Lastly, if your GameStop pre-order was canceled, we will honor your GameStop's $300 price on a replacement pre-order directly with us for either Galaxy Purple or Vintage Wood Grain with 2 controllers. As you place your new pre-order, please send a copy of your canceled GameStop receipt or email to Intellivision. When placing your new pre-order, please use the same email address that you used for the original GameStop order to help us match them up, because I guess Intellivision isn't going to, GameStop's not sending them the customer list. That's probably, they can't do that legally or they don't want to.
Right.
It's like, no, that's our information. We're not giving that to you there. What a fun trip this has been, right?
Yeah. And there are people who think this means it's closer to release.
No.
If GameStop is canceling GameStop wants the money. All $27 they got off of this for pre-orders.
I have no idea. This is what's happening, I think. I think that going back to we talked about this. Part of the Republic agreement was making consoles to get potentially some of the money, maybe. And there's a certain amount, I don't know if it's 200 or 300, whatever the fuck it was, that for some reason, part of the agreement, Republic has to receive consoles.
Right.
That's part of their agreement here. I don't know if that means that they're going to just manufacture several hundred by hand and do it. And then, again, we have no idea. We talk about the Bavarian grants. We have no idea how that money gets excused or how it gets paid back. If it's a condition to make consoles that someone in Germany has to look at, we didn't get scammed, we have some consoles. I have no idea what happens. But I do know this. They're taking a loss. You can't do small runs of stuff like this. You can't.
No, absolutely not.
Multiple boards for both the controllers and the console. Doing small runs like this, you are losing tons of money. doing small runs. You have to set up the lines. You have to train the employees on the line. It's not like automated with robots, man. There's people putting these things together.
Yeah.
People are putting these things together. You have to test for faulty runs and talk about Playdate discovered a bunch of faulty batteries, and that's a company that product's out now. You know, there could be revisions have to be done still. This thing we know it hasn't been completed, their FCC filings and things like that. So I don't know what this means totally. I don't know. I'm like now 50-50 if that they're going to try to put out like several hundred of these to some people to fulfill requirements with, say, the Bavarian grants folks and with Republic. I have no idea what direction this goes. All I know is this: they don't have money. They don't have money.
Can I be honest with you for a second?
Just okay.
Every time I hear the word Bavarian, I think of a nice donut.
Bavarian donut?
Yeah.
What style's Bavarian donut need?
Bavarian cream.
Oh, it's Bavarian cream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all.
Okay, that's it?
That's it. I just want to let you know.
Should that be part of the grants agreement? You get some nice couple dozen donuts?
Yeah.
Get a baker's dozen? I don't have a huge amount more to say about this because at this point, it's running out of steam.
I'm running out of steam. We are running out of steam. We're running out of steam. We don't have a whole lot more to say.
But there's still people that are holding out hope for this.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
But I will say this. I'm glad that, I think we talked about this last week. I'm glad that Atari Age is allowing a critical thread 2.5 years too late.
Oh, sure.
That they are about, is the Amico dead? And there's some fun stuff in there, including a really great long thread that Kevtris analyzed looking at boards and pictures of boards that were like from parts of like Tommy's office tours and stuff pegged on someone's wall, different revisions, looking at the control, identifying like what's happening with these boards, how they've been just underdeveloped in terms of like having multiple boards for your console instead of only one, and some good insight as to the process of what goes into making a console. Since Kevtris has made consoles through analog. So check it out. And that's all I got to say about this week.
Yeah.